Rhodophyta is a phylum of the kingdom Protista consisting of the photosynthetic organisms commonly known as red algae. Most of the world's seaweeds belong to this group. Members of the division have a characteristic clear red or purplish color imparted by accessory pigments called phycobilins, which are unique to the red algae and the cyanobacteria. So the rhodoplast is the red algae chloroplast. The chloroplasts of red algae are believed to be derived from cyanobacteria that formed an ancient symbiotic relationship with the algae. So red algae have a number of general characteristics that in combination distinguish them from other eukaryotic groups. So the first one is the absence of flagella and centrioles. The second one is that they have Florigen starch which acts as a storage product and the storage of starch in the cytoplasm. The third one is that they have phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, and allophycocyanin as an accessory pigments. They also have unstuck thylakoids in plastids and they have no chloroplast in the plasmic reticulum. So, the figure below shows the general structure of Rhodophyta. Seaweed shows a great morphological diversity. So, here are some other characteristics of the phylum Rhodophyta. They are commonly multicellular but some are unicellular. They thrive in marine environments. They live attached to a rock by a structure called a holdfast. Their cell walls contain thick polysaccharides. Some species incorporate calcium carbonate from the ocean into their cell walls as well. Red algae contain chlorophyll, phycobilin, phycoerythrin, and phycocyanin, and their reproduction is a complex process of sexual and asexual phases, and they have around 4,000 to 6,000 species.
Shown in the figure is the phylogenetic relationships among classes under the phylum Rhodophyta. Keep in mind that this is just one iteration among many models that have described the phylogenetic relationships of taxa within the phylum. The most common themes between them are the subclass Cyanidophyceae being the most basal taxon, and the formation of a clade comprising of subclasses Bangiophyceae and Florideophyceae. The relationships among the rest of the taxa vary per model. The figure shown here is adapted from Munoz Gomez and colleagues' model, who proposed a new subphylum where those taxa were clustered, named Proteorhodophytina. The phylum Rhodophytina is one of the most diverse phyla among algae, at present containing about 7,000 recognized species. There is not enough time to cover enough of these species in this presentation, hence we restricted the species to those economically important in the context of the Philippines. Particularly, we included selected red macroalgae listed by Trono 1999 and Trono 2019.
472 species of Rhodophyta are found in the Philippines, making up 57% of the country's total algal flora. Not only does this contribute to the ecology of the country, but also its economic importance is characterized by their commercial utilization as food source, production as industrial product, and the growth of seaweed forming into a whole industry. As food source, several species like Capophycus alvarezi, Halimenia durbillae, and some species of Eucheuma and Gracilaria are used. Polysaccharides found in algae species are called phycocolloids, and red algae are known to be a source of agar and carrageenan. Agar is known to be the major additive in the food industry and culture media in microbiology. This includes species from Gracilaria, Gelidium pterocladia, and Gelidiella acerosa. Carrageenans are also used as food additives where the genus Capophycus is discovered to produce kappa-carrageenans, while Eucheuma produces iota carrageenans, and recently it is discovered that the species Halimenia durbillae is a source of lambda-like carrageenans, and R-phycocyanin, which is a pigment that can be a therapeutic agent as an anti-cancer. Bioactive and nutritional natural products are found in species with antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties, while growth-promoting substances such as growth regulators and soil conditioners are found in few species. Similarly, animal feeds and paste also contain seafood components. Several pharmaceuticals are developed to treat stomach disorders and renal problems, while some species can be anthelmintic agents. For us to be able to utilize these seaweed products, a whole industry is dedicated for the processing of seaweeds as raw materials farmed mostly in the southern part of the Philippines and processed in the Visayas area. In fact, 65% of the total seaweed exports are in processed forms, helping 80,000 farmers and a total of 300,000 individuals that are engaged in the whole seaweed farming industry. The three major species of seaweed farmed are the Capophycus alvarezii, Eucuma denticulatum, and some species of Gracilaria, making seaweed as third most important fishery export of the Philippines.
Ceramium virgatum. It can grow up to 30 centimeter tall. It has filamentous fronds that are irregularly and dichotomously branched. Their holdfast is a minute conical disc that extend into a dense mass of rhizoidal filaments. They are reddish-brown to purple in color and has a banded appearance. Gelidiala acerosa. Their thalli form wiry mats or clumps attached by rhizoids arising from creeping stolons. They are color yellow-brown to greenish-brown and reddish to purple. Branches are erect, decumbent, or prostrate, composed of central axis and pinnately arranged filiform lateral branchlets. They are utilized for human consumption as food. Gelidium sp. So it is a commercially important species of red algae. It is a thalloid seaweed branching on a single axis. A clonal species, it grows on stands on rocky bottoms in the subtidal zones. Hypnea caroides. It clumps or masses of loosely intertwined cylindrical branches, firm cartilaginous, highly branched, and branching is variable and irregular, often tender-like and twisted around axes of other algae. Their holdfasts are small, inconspicuous, or lacking. They're usually red but can be yellowish-brown. Capophycus alvarezi. Their algae are tough, fleshy, and firm. Thalli are coarse with axes and branches 1 to 2 centimeter diameter. They are irregularly branched. They are shiny green to yellow-orange, and they are loosely attached to broken coral. Capophycus striatus. These are called green capophycus. They encrust on coralline substances. Their surface is rough, uneven, and mostly covered with dense protrusion. Yellowish-green, yellowish-brown to dark brown. Habit is decumbent and irregular branching.
Gracilaria coronopifoliae is from the family Gracilariaceae. It has solid cylindrical branches with short pointed tips that is often red but may bleach to pink or white in bright sunlight. Eucuma arnoldii is from the family Solariaceae with branches that are densely covered with simple or compound spinose tubercles, regularly arranged into distinct nodes and internodes. They grow on live corals, algal limestones, or basal substrates. Gracilaria incurvata is from the family Gracilariaceae with subtidal zonation, nauogamous gamete type, and branched body shape. Generation time is more than 3 years. Palisada perforata is from the family Rhodomelaceae. It is the synonym of Laurentia papillosa. Thallus is solitary or grouped, cartilaginous and tough, consisting of prostrate and erect branches, light olive brown coloration to dark reddish brown, growing on hard substrate exposed to moderate wave action. Calamania dilatata is from the family Cryptonemyaceae. Thallus solitary, fleshy, gelatinous, and membranaceous, bright red to yellowish or brownish to dark red coloration when old. The blade is broadly oval, suborbicular or kidney-shaped, growing on subtidal dead corals, rocks, and pebbles. Calyophyllus lambertii is from the family Calamaniaceae, dark red coloration with much branch in one plane, irregular lateral branching. Dioecious sexual thalli, lower axes are thicker in older plants, cartilaginous substance that is only slightly adhering to paper on drying.
Gracilaria textorii belongs to the family Gracilariaceae. So shown in the figure, they could be found as reddish to brownish, but could also appear as yellow to green. So these species of algae are found attached to rocks or stones and are important as sources of agar and agarose. Moreover, Trichogluea requenii belongs to the family Liaguraceae. So these species of algae are slender and have a calcified medulla, and are also widely distributed across the tropics, including that of West Indies. Moreover, Gymnogongrus sp belongs to the family Phyllopheraceae, and as shown in the figure, they could appear as purple to dark brown. They also occur worldwide, including that of Antarctica and Alaska. Moreover, Capophycus alvarezii belongs to the family Soleraceae, and as shown in these figures, they could appear as green, dark brown to reddish, and they are found loosely attached to broken corals in reef flat and reef edges. And they are also important as major producers of Kappa carrageenan for medicinal purposes. Moreover, Gracilaria heteroclada belongs to the family Gracilariaceae. So these species of algae could be found as brown to reddish, and they are widely distributed across the tropics, and they are also important sources of food agar based on their physical properties. Moreover, Eucheuma prochystianum belongs to the family Soleraceae. As shown in this figure, they could appear as green, but could also be found as reddish to brownish. They're also abundant in the Philippines and in tropical Asia and Western Pacific. They're also important as sources for extraction of dyeing compounds and production of carrageenan due to their very cartilaginous thalli. Moreover, Halimenia maculata belongs to the family Halimeniaceae. And as shown in the figure, they could appear as blotchy, red to purple red, and reddish. And they are also widely distributed across the tropics. Moreover, Acanthophora spicifera belongs to the family Rhodomelaceae. So these species of algae could be found as light pink and as shown in the figure as pale to dark brown. They're also cylindrical and have a smooth branch. And they're important as sources of antioxidants and as bioindicators of nutrient enrichment. Moreover, Titanophora weberi belongs to the family Schizymeniaceae, and as shown in the figure, they could appear as pink to reddish to light pink, and they are slightly calcareous, lubricous, and complanate. They are also widely distributed across the tropics. Moreover, Chondrophycus intermedius belongs to the family Rhodomelaceae, and as shown in this figure, they could also appear as dark purple, but how in some cases they appear as bright to deep brown. So these species of algae are widely distributed in the tropics, including that of Korea, Japan, China, Hong Kong, Philippines, and Hawaii.
Acanthophora muscoides is from the family Rhodomelaceae. It has brittle, compact, bushy, cartilaginous thalli. It has short determinate and irregularly shaped branches. Its color appears from dark brown red to greenish or yellowish to almost black. It grows on rocks, sandy, muddy bottoms with stones and shells, intertidal to subtidal, and it can grow up to 25 centimeters. Cassificus firmus is from the family Gracilariaceae. It has thalli with a firm texture, its branches with basal constrictions that taper towards acute apices. It is distributed in tropical and subtropical regions of the Western Pacific, including China, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Eucheuma gelatinae is from the family Soleraceae. It is decumbent, large, fleshy, coarse, leathery thallus with branching irregularly dichotomous or pinnate. Its axes are compressed, 3 to 5 millimeters broad, 1 to 2 millimeters thick. It is accreted or free, gradually tapering to the tops with spinous outgrowths on ventral surface and marginal sides of thallus. Phytocarps develop on tops of tubercles on the ventral surface. It grows in the intertidal to upper subtidal zones of shores exposed to strong wave action. Eucheuma denticulatum is from the family Soleraceae. It has spiny and bushy thalli, spiky branches, and grows about 50 centimeters tall. It creates thick algal mats that carpet the coral and restrict the radiance received by coral polyps. It is found in reef or lagoon regions, primarily in the Philippines, Indonesia, and East Africa. Gracilaria euchemoides is from the family Gracilariaceae. It has robust cylindrical to flat erect thalli and color ranges from green to purple. It has irregular dichotomous to alternate and flat branches. It ranges between a few centimeters to 40 centimeters tall and has short spines at the margins of the flattened branches. Agarophyton tenustipitatum is from the family Gracilariaceae. It has similar morphology with Gracilaria and grows mainly in brackish water conditions. Its species are widely distributed in the tropical zones. Halimenia florescii is from the family Halimeniaceae. It appears red in color, grows up to 30 centimeters tall. Its blade surface and margins are proliferated and has folioles and varied shaped fronds. Hypnea panosa is from the family Cystocloniaceae. Its thalli is prostate, forming thick clumps of intricating branches on rocky substrate. It is irregularly alternate branches that is terete and slightly compressed. It grows in very dense, matte clumps that loosely anchor to coarse substrate, and occurs widely across the tropical and subtropical Pacific and Indian Oceans. Laurentia composita is from the family Rhodomelaceae. It has polysticous branching pattern, and its colors appear from reddish-brown to yellowish-red or yellowish-brown. It grows in the upper to mid-intertidal zones exposed to higher levels of desiccation. Porphyra marcosii is from the family Baniaceae. It has membranous, branch, monostomatic thalli, has a light purplish or brownish-red monostomatic blades, and grows in the upper intertidal zone on rocks and barnacles up to 14 centimeters in height.
The Guinea simplex underfamily Rhodomelaceae. It features an erect thallus and dull brownish-red color. The branches are densely coated with hair-like branchlets, and the branching of the main axis is basically dichotomous, but they may become irregular due to the production of adventitious laterals. Halimenia durvillei underfamily Halimeniaceae. It features slippery texture with flat and feathered edges. Branching forms with a broad flat central stem where the finer branches arise. Cinaya hormoides under family Cineaceae. It features an erect thallus with red to deep red in color, attached by a discoid holdfast. It also features short stipe and hard texture, with branches connected to globose vesicular segments. Their thallus can grow up to 7 centimeters. Gratelopia felicina under family Halimeniaceae. It features compressed, tufted, dark purplish to brown fronds, 120 millimeters in height, and main axis is 1 to 4 millimeters broad. It could be once or twice pinnate, and the axis and branchlets are tapered at the base and apex. Condophycus undulatus under Rhodomelaceae. It features rigid cartilaginous thallus, which is 4 to 10 centimeters in height, and its color could be greenish brown or dark purple to black. Pinnate or subdichotomous branching with ultimate branchlets that are short and knobby with apical depressions at the top. It is usually attached to racks to discoid holdfast. Pterocladia sp under family Pterocladiaceae. It features dark red to purple color, and the main axes are generally flattened, while the apices are obtuse. Gracilaria arcuata under family Gracilariaceae. It features erect thallus, greenish purple to light red in color, with discoid holdfast attachment, and the prominent primary and secondary branches are present with slightly constructed in the base. Conde armata under family Rhodomelaceae. It features branched talus with rigid, coarse, and bushy character. It could be 3 to 6 centimeters in height, and the erect branching arise from the short and firm stalk. It also features alternate cylindrical branching with fusiform branchlets at the pointed tips. Carpopeltis species under family Halimeniaceae. It features dark brown to red color, which could be 10 to 300 millimeters long, with gristly branches. It features several main branches with alternate side branching, and the branches are flat, narrow, and compressed, and about 1 to 2 millimeters broad. Laurentia pinnata under family Rhodomelaceae. It features an erect thallus, disticus, whorled, or radial branch arrangement, and they usually grow on temperate and tropical shores.
Chondrus crispus is from the family Gigardinaceae. Its color ranges from dark purplish red to greenish. Among its key morphological features are the consistent dichotomous branching, flattened fronds which have a cartilaginous fill, and the stipe which is compressed and narrow. Additionally, papillate, cystocarps, and channeling are absent. Calibre faris saitana, synonym Hypnea saitana, is from the family Cystocloniaceae. The thallus is erect and compressed, forming clumps that are cartilaginous. Branching varies, which can be dichotomous, alternate, or unilateral, but is usually curved and tapering. The holdfast is discoid, from which multiple thalli arise. Asparagopsis taxiformis is from the family Bonemysoniaceae. The fronds are erect and distinctly ramify, giving a feather-like appearance, or in more formal terms, plumose. There is a notable absence of hooks near the base stolon, which possess a clear rhizomatous system. Porphyra subarticulata is from the family Pangaceae. Color varies significantly from reddish-brown, yellowish-brown to greenish. The thallus is monostromatic and is either ovate or reniform to elongate. They occur as solitary blades on substrates. Gracilaria blodgettii is from the family Gracilariaceae. Color differ within species, from reddish to pink or brown. The thallus is terete. The branches are strongly constricted and may be irregular, second, or alternate. Crystalllaria salicornia is from the family Cassillariaceae. Color may be yellow, green, or purple. The thallus is terete and small, up to 7 centimeters. Axis is irregularly constricted and branches either as di or trichotomous.